I just wanted to show off my Pleasantview. I'm not sure exactly how old it is. Quite old. I am inspired by Pleasant Sims rotations, so I used her spreadsheet. But it makes sense to start with Don and Cassandra. So Cassandra and Don, they moved out. They didn't have any issues with their wedding or anything. It's been a while since I've seen this game, so I probably need to familiarise myself with everything. But going into their family tree, they had 2 kids, Elijah and Faye, and Don somehow managed to not have any other children in my game. He hasn't been loyal to Cassandra though. As you can see, he's still very close with Nina, Bella Goth, who I revived for a bit of storytelling, Dina, and got some things going on with Townies. I do believe that him and Kaylin got caught, and now she is with the landlord of her old apartment, and you'll see why I decided to do that. This is Lucy Hamby, one of the Pleasantview maids. But yeah, not much else. They've got a couple of pets. Their house is pretty nice. I've got some new custom content and things ever since, but I haven't touched the save file in a while. I think the daughter was into like art and things, and then Elijah was into sports and space by the looks of it. I always try and decorate their rooms according to their favourite colour, which I determine by what they sort of age up wearing the most of and their hobbies. Bella sort of followed her dad's footsteps, the scientist career. All of the skills and things have been like organically earned, nothing cheated. And I follow a wants based gameplay, so if they don't roll the want to earn skills or get promoted, I don't do that. So you can see that Don's not made it very far, as most of his wants tend to be romance based. Cassandra's never caught Don cheating, I think. She's kind of just blissfully unaware of it. When she moved out, I sort of gave her a cut of the goth money, because I envisioned that they would definitely give her that money in real life. I don't normally tend to just give people free houses or anything. They have to earn it through one way or another. Next we've got the Goth family, which I'm pretty sure is the reason why I don't play this game anymore, because their house is just full of pink soup. I've got the really popular houses that everyone downloads. I've completely forgot the name. If I remember, I'll put it on, but the houses are beautiful, but the custom content is so pink soupy. But it's the most amazing house. They've literally redone pretty much every house in Pleasantview, and it looks amazing. But in this household, we've got Bella Goth, because Mortimer is no longer alive, as an elder. It's definitely a look. I've default replaced pretty much everything in my game since I played this, so some things might not look as intended, but I'm sure it'll be okay. This is Eamon Sims. He's just like a pleasure sim, I'm pretty sure. Townie, who Bella's with. She's a romance sim, so I feel like after Mortimer should still want that loving. Alexander. I've kept him living here because I kind of just felt like the house is big enough. And him and Lucy have had their first child here, who's on the floor. Olivia. And they've got their other son, Noah, here. So looking at the family tree, him and his sister Olivia, his mum Lucy, Alexander and Bella. And Lucy is, I believe I've made her into sort of like an author. Yeah, she's like into film and literature and likes to do writing and things. She's also a family sim, so I've kind of got her doing like a bit of writing. Hopefully one of her books will sell really well. Maybe she might make like a autobiography about her time living with the Goths or something. Not too sure what the second sort of generation is going to bring drama wise. Alexander just works as a intelligence career. Oh, I think I'll need to change his clothes a little bit. It's not really working. In the intelligence career, I'm not really sure why, but he kept rolling like the want to do that, so I've put him there, but he's nothing like super special. I'd like to give him a bit more storyline and meaning. Might sort of get him like researching into things, poking his nose in sciencey things. Not too sure. I read a theory that I kind of liked about Alexander wanting to get to know more about like Dina and why she wanted to get like involved with Mortimer, and why did she try and steal the age serum thing that Mortimer made in the lore and stuff. So like he wrote a book as well, I think, Alexander, on Bella and being abducted by aliens and how he's not really buying everyone's bullshit basically. So I kind of like that idea, but obviously Bella's in my game, so I'll kind of have to put my own twist on it after I make him get changed. And I think I could find Lucy some better clothes now as well. But yeah, still very much in love. She's still wanting to pump out children. I think as he's a knowledge sim and she's a family sim, I kind of stick to Pleasant Sims like childbirth rules things and try and do like child-based aspirations, if you don't know what I'm talking about. And like hundreds and hundreds of kids and everyone ends up related a lot easier. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Bella's still living her best life. But sort of in her old age now with Bella, I think I just have her writing sort of literature, sort of hoeing around. She's not really supposed to be in the game, so I just have a Pleasantview rotation before this where she wasn't in it, and Dina ended up with Mortimer. And I think this time I went with Dina ending up with someone else, just for a bit of a twist. So yeah, she is glowing. Moving on to Dina's house, she lives in Bluewater Village rather, sorry, in a mansion with Malcolm Landgrab, who she met when she was out shopping for electronics, and she thinks they made an instant connection, but he didn't really like her at all, and she kept going to the shop and trying to seduce him because he's got that money. And she couldn't have Mortimer this time because Bella's alive, so that's the next best thing. This is the Landgrab household, where we have Malcolm Landgrab, the next one, after his dad as well. So this is Henry. I don't know why, but he's just one of my faves. I think he's really cute. In The Golden Boy, Malcolm wants Henry to take over instead of his true inheritant, Malcolm. How will he feel when he learns Henry wants to become a famous athlete? So we've got the older Malcolm, his older brother. Malcolm spends his spare time with women, but who cares because he's going to inherit his father's huge house and businesses, or is he? So I felt like I was going with a direction where Malcolm could either give it to Malcolm, which he should do, or he can give it to his other son, Henry, which he might end up doing because Henry's more sensible and less Don-like. Oh, here's Lucy here as well, who's got the hots for Malcolm. But I'm envisioning Malcolm being the next big player, the next big business mogul, big charmer, and then Henry's just sort of like wants to be an athlete, doesn't really want to be involved in all of this, isn't really materialistic. Malcolm, the younger Malcolm, I think he's been and gone to uni, but I don't think he passed. I don't remember him passing. I think he went to uni and he didn't end up passing. I think he got expelled, but then he just thought, well, like, I'm getting my businesses anyway. Looking at all of this, it really needs a massive makeover if I am to continue playing it, which I'd really love to do. I love the save, I love Pleasantview. Like, I've tried to do Strangetown and make my own saves, but like, I just really like these sims and all of their personalities. Now that Dina stopped being a hoe, we can finally see her. But yeah, she sort of grinded hard to be where she is. I've cheated her age a little bit. Well, not really cheated, but she's been taking the age serum, which is run out in here now. But you can get it, I'm pretty sure, through aspiration points, and it knocks a few days off your life. But it's because her husband, Malcolm, is so much younger than her, I just thought it's so Dina that she would want to like stay young, stay like youthful and so vain, and stay looking good for her husband, really. And then her husband wants to keep leveling up his businesses. I think he owns his store still. I'm not sure whether I bought him another one as well. He's also got a really nice car here that he bought for Dina. He's doing really well with his businesses, and I think he will pass them along too. Oh my god, Dina, not again. We'll pass them along to Henry or Malcolm. On to our next, Nina Caliente. Now Nina sort of stayed the same as well. She's never like wanted to get with anyone, marry anyone. She's a romance sim. In one of her jobs, she had a card and she won a stupid amount of money, and I managed to move her out into a new house, decorate the house. She went on like a holiday and all sorts of things. Usually I think most of the time people tend to put her in like an apartment or she keeps the condo, but she has her whole brand new condo here for her. And interestingly, the love of her life fucked on. Her one true love is Eamon, which if you'll remember is Bella Goth's husband. So interesting stuff going on here, but never had any kids. Has an okay relationship with Dina, I think. They don't really talk. She's in the athlete's career. Never really wanted to get the promotion though. She's doing okay. The house definitely needs a makeover now that I've got CC. And of course she's got the aspiration thing. Her all-time lifetime want is to become level 10 in her career, which I thought was sort of fitting, but she's not really sort of made any progress. When she went on her holiday that she won loads of money with, she met a guy abroad called Stefan Go, who she sometimes invites him over and it lets him stay, I think, for like 3 days or something, and he comes with a suitcase and things like that. But other than that, she's sort of just my fun, like, impulsive romance sim who I can sort of just live vicariously through. And yeah, not much to Nina, unfortunately. Didn't happen to do a lot with her. In an apartment for a little while until she won the money, like I said, so she still got some relationships from like her landlord and the people who lived, like her neighbours and things, but yeah, she doesn't like have an awful lot going on. I should probably sort of come up with something where she can become more involved again. But the first Dreamer household, where we've got Darren Dreamer, Brandy Broke, her son, their adopted daughter. Can't remember his name, Bobby. So I think this is the one. So this is the one that she's pregnant with when you start the game. You've obviously got Dustin and Bo, and then they adopted a girl called Angel not so long ago, I believe. Bobby, I think he's really, like, he's got really good relationships with his family, and he always really wants to speak to his family. He's got a romantic relationship going on with Uma, which is the adopted daughter of Herb and Coral Oldie. So, like, Angela and Lilith's adopted sister. He's also into someone called Virginia that I think he must have met at university, because I'm sure Bobby's been to university. No, I can't really. He's a employee working for Uma at her toy business. She runs like a store which sells like baby clothes and toys and things, and he used to be with Uma. They used to be together before he went to university. I remember now, it's coming back to me. And then when he was away, he sort of got with someone else, forgot about her a little bit, and then Uma actually got married to someone, used his sort of money and things to set up their own business, and she hired Bobby as a worker when he come back from uni. And let's just say, I think I remember they might have shared a kiss or two before closing the other day. Oops. Brandy, as an elder. I'm not really sure why she's just stood there. Looks like she's been hit by one of my random default replacement changes, but you know, she's kind of serving. This is again another one of those houses that I downloaded, which probably caused the pink soup. But never mind. Yeah, Brandy, just a normal family sim. I thought she's kind of just someone I think would want to provide for their family, so she kind of met Darren, had a bit of a crush on him, got with him quite quickly, moved in. They never like succeeded in having their own child, so they had to adopt. This is their dog, Max. Oh, Sheldon, you're in the way. This is Angel. So I envision her as like sort of like a chill hippie stoner artist kind of vibe. Her actual like everyday wear is like quite hippie. I just vision her a bit like that. She's a romance sim. I just kind of imagine her like kind of free loving, all over the place, kind of hippie, free vibes. So Kai Langerak, which is Daniel and Kaylin Langerak's son. She's in a relationship with, it looks like, or she has a crush on them. She's also quite close with Gabriel Burb, which I believe she's probably related to in some way. I think that's the issue, is that and with this save, everyone starts becoming like more and more related. Dark Dreamer, family. So yeah, not interested in Henry though. And sort of impartial to Malcolm, so you never know, she could become a Malcolm victim / accomplice one day, being romance sims. Aspiring pianist, that's what my wisdom was. And then with Darren, he's just sort of been an artist. He's just pursued his art and supported his kids, really. Got with Brandy, never did much with his wife. I just never really thought. Some people I know resurrect his wife and sort of try and get that going again, but I sort of decided to stick to the Dirk being like a sad, maybe a bit lonely growing up and things like that because of his mum, and then Darren became like a lonely artist and fell quite hard for Brandy because that was his next like shot at love and things. So I kind of like that storyline. I think that was the way I did it in my first one. Oh dear, what's happening? I thought that was Brandy, but I was like, her hair, Jesus Christ. Next is Daniel Pleasant. I believe Mary Sue not long just really died, unfortunately. I don't think Daniel's really far off either, to be honest. And I think one of the things I was debating is who I'm going to pass the house down to. I was thinking possibly... It's hard because Angela, I feel like you'd give it to, but Lilith's like really made a life herself. Like she's got a couple of kids. Dirk's got a good job. Like I think she's turned it around and she has a really good relationship with her dad. I'm pretty sure that both Angela and Lilith are at 100, and I think she was working on things with her mum, and yeah, she's not the hated daughter in my game. So like, to sort of spin things on their head, I was thinking maybe give it to Lilith instead of to Angela, because I don't want this house to just go. I do think like I want the Pleasant house to always have a Pleasant, and I want the Goth house to always have a Goth. He's with Jill Smith as one of his townies. He's got 3 bolts with her. Pretty sure he's got kids with her as well. Marissa Bendette, one of the townies. Basically all the townies he's got with at some point. And I think he really loves Kaylin. Like he's got a big thing for Kaylin. He's got 2 kids with her. He's got twins with Kaylin. So looking at his kids, he's got obviously Angela, Lilith, Jasmine, and Kai. And then Lara Smith, which is Jill Smith's daughter. Yeah, a lot of ginger children running around Pleasantview. He's still working in the athlete career. I remember at one point he got demoted quite far down, just through like a choice card, I think, and he just worked his way back up. Got a solid amount of money as well. But yeah, I'm just sort of living out his last days. He's not really got too long left, unfortunately. Or fortunately. So I don't think he's going to get to go study or get married or have a baby. But you never know when I next get around to playing him. They've got a butler. I think I've just hired everything for them because with their money that they have, I don't see why not. And I want to use more of the in-game sort of things where I can. Next is the Burb family. This is an absolute shambles of a household. Like, I wanted to spice things up a bit, and I just thought, you know what, I'm gonna look like really hard at something they're doing and trying to like make it into something, even if it's not, even if it's a reach. So an interesting story's happened here where, don't know whether it was through ACR or something, but Jennifer randomly started flirting with her teenage son's friend he brought home, which is none other than the Michael Landgrab son. So fabulous, you know. So they've had a little affair sort of thing going on, even though he's basically a teenager, or is a teenager, or was a teenager, I'm not really sure. One sort of like caught them, which I think is an interesting spin because like it's usually John who's cheating. I don't think he's all like sunshine and rainbows though. Does he have a relationship with anyone? No, just his wife. He's been kind of loyal, and he did like a bit of flirting with Uma, but I think Uma shut that down because she's already got a husband and in love with someone she can't have, who she's hired to work for her. So yeah, I don't feel like she needs that extra love in her life, especially not John Burb. He's not really got it anymore, unfortunately. Not for me anyway. So I think they're just sort of living together and coexisting because like I don't really know what I would do with either of them. They're not like fun enough to play like on their own, but I thought it was like an interesting thing, and maybe they'll just work through it. Maybe it was a blip, because I know Jennifer used to be a model. Maybe she just wanted a bit more excitement back in her life. And yeah, John wants to do his garden, so I always have a little garden, but they never really take care of it. And again, this is one of those houses that I downloaded from that creator, which has probably caused my game to go corrupt. Children, so you just had Lucy Goth, or Lucy Burb, and then they have Gabriel Burb as well, but I believe he must be at uni because I'm not too sure where he is at the moment. I can't remember too much details about him, really, but obviously he was like really kind of traumatized by his mum, like sleeping with his friend and things like that. That was his best friend too. So obviously that really hurt. Now he's gone to uni, and who knows, will he come back or will he just move straight into an apartment and go ghost on his family like Brooklyn Beckham? This is a nightmare household. So Herb and Coral own this trailer, and Uma's been and gone to university, come back, and she's obviously got the trailer, and I think it'd be nice for her to keep it, sort of Brandy style, but it's kind of small and they are going to need to move out because it's not going to work, unfortunately. But this is Uma. He is the one who is romantically involved with Bobby. They were together, they were like teen lovers. She like adores him. She's hired him to work for her, and they're having like a sort of secret work affair sort of thing, which is only developed in sort of the last shift or two, I think. Sam Haggerty. See, I really don't like his name's Haggerty, so I'd really like if they got remarried and her surname became Broke. That'd be so good. So I would love the Broke name to stay strong. But Sam Haggerty, I think he's just a townie that she met somewhere. Sort of looks like her, to be honest. Like blonde hair, blue eyes. She's got green eyes, blonde hair. Quinn Haggerty, who looks gorgeous, and Piper. She's with the cat here. Yeah, Uma owns a toy store. She sells like clothing, baby things. What does her partner do? I can't really. Oh yeah, he's a teacher, just a lecturer. Not really sure. Not really got anything for these guys come up yet. She's a family sim, so she'll love her kids. I just think she needs to get with Bobby, and then she can have a kid with Bobby and take his last name. Not sure how that's all going to go down yet, but it will. Just loading up her place. I think that's going to do with a revamp as well, to be honest. But like, yeah, she just sells like, I think this is a revamped H&M actually. She just sells like toys that she's made. I think she must have rolled the want to get a toy bench at some point, and I made something out of it. But that wants, and if they're like, you know, wants to learn I don't know, robot making, then I'll sort of make that their thing and their little niche. So I think Uma's must have been like toys, and because she's a family sim, I think it works. There's Bobby showing up for his shift. But yeah, as you can see, she's got a crush on him. She's thinking about him. Andra, Jennifer, Kai. Oh, looking great. Next up is the Broke family. Now, interestingly, I've seen like in other people's Pleasantview games, Angela and Dustin just roll once to have kids all the time. But for me, in my game, it's always been Lillith and Dirk who tend to be the ones who roll once for kids. Angela actually as well. I don't think she ever went to uni in my game. She's not got the extra slots. I don't think she ever wanted to go. But I think Lillith did, I'm sure. And Dustin definitely did. I think I have a university mod that cuts down the time, and it sort of makes it like really impossible to keep on top of the work and things, because you have to do it all in like 1 or 2 days, and then they end up failing. I don't know if it's like a bit of a glitch. I might have to look into it. Dustin is currently working as a master architect, so he turned his life around. He's a level 9, earning quite a substantial amount of money really. Thanks to him, they've been able to move out in this nice house, but it's getting a little bit crowded, so it might be nice for them to move out, but I don't know, he might give it to Lillith, the house. In their garden, they've got lots of bits and bobs. They rolled a 1 for a tent for some reason too. I think Dustin likes to do a bit of gardening. I'm pretty sure that's his hobby. Yeah, nature. And then so's Angela's hobby, so they have quite a nice looking garden. It's not really like well kept at the moment or anything, but it's a garden nonetheless. This is Rose Broke. Also, every time I have a kid or someone's pregnant or whatever, but basically every time I open my game, because this game everyone's always giving birth and having kids, I always use Batbox, and then I re-roll the generator or re-roll the pacifier or something, and it just makes it so that all the genetics are taken into account rather than just like the most like dominant ones, and then your babies end up looking different. Otherwise they will have like same face syndrome or something. Anyway, this is Rose. I don't know her hobby or anything yet, but she's just a toddler. Sophia Broke. So they've had 2 girls so far. She looks like a ginger as well. Obviously a lot to say about them at the moment. And then Angela just works in the athletic career. Not too interesting right now, but I might spice things up when the inevitable happens and Daniel passes away and gives the house to Lillith. Who knows? I mean, even though they're sort of friends right now, they sort of made up, and that was completely autonomous, by the way, at working on their relationship. But you never know, like if the house goes to one of the sisters and not the other, they might have some issues again. But I think that was the issue, is that like not only was it the pink soup, is that when it's the next generation, you've not got the drama there, you sort of need to come up with it yourself. Things start to go a bit dry, but start sprinkling some back in with some of the things we've got going on. So I think Dustin will just keep progressing in his career. Angela will raise the kids, and let's see what their sort of kids become, whether they're like their parents or not. So the next one is Lillith and Dirk, and as you can see, Lillith like rolled to want like a child earlier, and I remember I think it was right after university, her and Dirk were in their apartment together, and she rolled a 1 to have a baby way sooner than Angela rolled 1, and she was pregnant, and this is her kid now, Ivan. He's a teenager. Like, how crazy is that? What about him? What's he up to? So he's sort of got a crush on one of the townies, Lindsay Stomple. Good friends with Kai Langerak, Angel, knows Henry, his auntie. Yeah, I think he's quite active in things. Yeah, I've got him as like a sporty sim. Up here we've got, this is a very plain boring house, by the way, because I don't like to cheat money or anything. So I've just been decorating it as Dirk's been getting money. I think I added the upstairs on as well, so it's probably not like the best looking floor plan I could have had, but here we are again. Lillith is pregnant, and technically if I was following the rules, of the babies and things. I don't think she'd be allowed, so I don't know why I've kept it. I might have just forgot, but I think it's just Lillith. I can make an exception. And Ivan, pretty much any day now, should be moving out. Well, in like a few days, he's gonna be like hopefully wanting to go to university still and things. But I don't think he's much of a rebel. I think he likes his parents, but he does want to sneak out with Henry. So maybe that mischief will carry on, or maybe not, because he's a family sim. Matthew Dreamer. That's their second child. Don't really know much about him yet, to be honest. Haven't really got a lot of information. I don't think, yeah, he's not super long, like aged up of things. And then we've got Dirk, who's in the business career, and he also owns Dirk's Automobiles because he wanted to own 5 top level businesses as his lifetime want. Lillith just does the same as Angela. She's in the athletics career. So it looks a bit depressing at the moment, and I'm still trying to figure out, well, I was trying to figure out how to add like cars and things that you can sell. But the idea was that you buy cars from Dirk basically, because I don't know if anyone's ever seen Pleasant Sims and her making her own world, like integrated neighborhood, and everyone sells everything that you could have, and the economy's all like made on its own and stuff like that. And I'd love to start making Pleasantview more of an integrated community. So doing that, I need to sort of make shops for everything. So far I've got the toy shop where people have to go to buy all their stuff for their babies now, and then the car shops, if anyone wants a car they have to come to Dirk's to get the car and things like that. So that's just sort of my idea and what I was trying to do, even if you have to sort of pretend a little bit. I kind of like the realism, but because he wants to own 5 businesses, I mean, I know he's almost becoming an elder, I might start tweaking some of the lifespans, because it feels like they've barely been adults at all. I might start getting him to own more businesses and then make things more integrated. But yeah, my next shambles of a household is the Langerack family. So Kaylin, I decided to move her into an apartment because I thought she was like a fundamental character really, and she got pregnant with Daniel's children. Obviously the apartment was really tough for twins, so I decided that Daniel would have really probably given her some money for him and his kids to live, like, even in a basic house like this. So I transferred the money. They moved into Brandy's old trailer, and her old landlord moved in as well, who she was having a bit of a romantic affair with. He doesn't do like obviously landlord stuff anymore, but sometimes for realism I'll just send him out for a bit and like add a bit of money for like rent money and things like that, just to sort of keep the realism, because that is still what like I want to view him as like a landlord. So this is Jasmine Langerack. This is Kaylin and Daniel's daughter. Very fashionable, very gorgeous. So she's a romance sim and she wants to do cosmetology, so I've locked that in. So she might own like maybe the Pleasantview salon or makeup salon or something like that, maybe become a hairdresser, something along those lines, which would be really cool as part of the integrated thing. Kai, he's just gone to school, which is unfortunate, but he's also a romance sim, obviously, because they share the same star sign. Maybe he's a bit more on the naughty side, so he wants to sneak out with his new crush and have like 2 crushes. And he's got a bit of a crush on Angel, who's actually just turned up, which is really creepy. Brandy and Darren's adopted daughter. You can see what I mean a bit by like her hippie clothes. I might change those if I continue playing this world in something a bit nicer that I've downloaded. But yeah, he really likes Melody Tinker and Angel. And he's got a bit of stuff going on with some other girls as well. Then we've got Kaylin and Keith Qua. They had 2 twins as well. Honestly, the most unfortunate thing that could have happened. So they are Tilly and Violet. I think they'll grow to be quite pretty. This is their dog here. I just thought Kaylin might have like a like a dog. I think everyone had a want at some point. I remember going to the pet shop or something like that with Jasmine and Kai, and they brought home the dog, so I think everyone must have had a want to have one at some point. So I think unless everyone has a want, I don't tend to get a pet because it just gets a bit much sometimes. And then once you get one, then they start wanting more pets. So yeah. So far, Kaylin's got 4 kids. I didn't anticipate that. She was just supposed to have one last one. Got rid of the pool and things like that. So yeah. Glad I moved Kaylin in. I think she's a nice pal, but I really don't like the Qua. I don't like the surname Qua. I think it's so silly. I'm really glad that Jasmine and Kai actually have Langerak. And who knows, depending on Keith and where he goes, if maybe Kaylin might spend Daniel's last days with Daniel once she realises that he's on his last days, and she might go back to Langerak. So who knows. I think Daniel still pops around to see his kids and things, and she's still got a really strong relationship with Daniel, so I might do something about that along those lines. They've got a maid. Oh, I love this touch about Sims 2, the dog coming out whilst the mail's being delivered. It's really cool. I'll have to see where this family takes us. Another set of twin girls, lots of twins in this neighbourhood. Forgot to say, but Keith is the landlord of the apartments that Nina used to live in, Jill Smith lives in, and things like that. So everyone's sort of linked in somehow. God, Jill definitely needs a makeover, bless her. But this is Jill and her daughter. I can't remember her name. I think it might be Eva or Ava. I sort of go down the ABCD list of names to like judge who. Oh, actually the default replacement's a default replacing. Lara, almost. But I sort of go down the list for names. So like if I've just done L for Lara, and then next time I'll do like M, whether it's a girl or a boy, and try and find a name beginning with M, just to like keep the names like a bit varied and cause me to think a little bit about them. But Jill's been living in this apartment for like ages. I'm pretty sure this was Nina's old apartment. She's been raising her daughter here. They've been sleeping in the same bed. I don't think Daniel gave them as good treatment. He's not really been like paying anything, or like when he comes to visit, like he doesn't really like he gives more attention to his other kids, I think. And that's just how the cookies always crumbled. I'm not sure why, but I think Lara's understated. Like I think she's underrated, and in her bio I put Lara never gets the spotlight, but she doesn't need it. She ends up outshining them all without even trying, and she's an aspiring chef. So maybe she'll run a restaurant in Pleasantview or downtown one day and sort of integrate that way, or maybe I'll try and make her into like a celebrity chef. Not too sure, but considering her dad's like a sort of maybe like a celebrity athlete or something like that, then it wouldn't be like too far of a stretch. But then in terms of integrated, a restaurant might be better. So who knows? Let's see what she sort of leans towards in her older life. But she's got a pleasure aspiration. She just wants to kind of buy clothes, have parties. But not looking like that, sweetheart. You need to get your spot cream on. I just think Jill, I don't know. She is just one of the townies that Daniel Roder want to sleep with, and he slept with her at some place, like just some place that had a couch, and yeah, because she got pregnant, I just had to move her in somewhere. But I don't particularly feel any way about her. She just works in fast food, had her daughter, doesn't really chase Daniel or anything. She's never really cared too much for him. She likes Shay, which I'm sure is one of her neighbours. I think he lives downstairs because he used to be with Nina as well. She's a romance sim, so I think she's just sort of a bit of a free spirit, has the guys over in bed whilst Lara's at school type thing. Works in fast food and just gets by, pretty sure. Just a bit of an unhappy accident / secret that Daniel had, but it's turned out that into this thing that might run the future Michelin star restaurant of Pleasantview. So it's interesting how these little like one night fling things can turn the story into something like so much more interesting. This is Bowbrook, one of my favourite families to play. Bo is very creative, loves music and dance, so what better than to give him a music and dance bar. where he performs all the time, and he's with his wife. Yeah, I think they're married now. Wife Krista. Yeah, Krista Burke. She's just one of the townies. Pretty sure she's in everyone's game, but they kind of hit it off as teens. And yeah, they've always been together ever since. Krista's a family sim, so I feel like she's always been chasing Beau, like all throughout their life to sort of like settle down. But Beau like went to uni, then he wanted to go to run a bar and do music, and then Krista's always just been like, no, let's just move in and get married. And yeah, they eventually did, and now they've got their child Whitney Broke. I love the name Whitney because I feel like that's just what Krista should be called. That's what she looks like to me, a Whitney, so I love that their daughter is called Whitney. Aw, that is the cutest little Whitney. Love that. Why is it, every time I load into my game to show you guys, everyone just starts woohooing? Interesting. This is Beau's bar, very intimate and small, but a good place to start. Pretty sure he had to take out a loan to buy this place, but it's like our integrated little bar thing. Customers have to like buy a ticket to come in, and then they're like charged whilst they're here and things, and they buy drinks, listen to the music, and Beau just literally just stands and performs all night. He's got like a few fans. There's a couple of girls who work for him. So Vanessa works for him at the bar, and then someone works for him on tickets, like taking the tickets. I think it's this girl here, Mary Gavigan. I think both of them like him. I think he sort of had like a bit of a flirtation going on with one of them at some point, but then like he nipped that in the bud, because I envision him like he'd be loyal to Krista. This is sort of what he does in his spare time. I think Uma's just a stay-at-home mum. To add a bit of variety into this generation, I started adding the Ramirez family in. Usually I'd add them in at the beginning, but then I think it's just too many families to get through, and I don't think they need it right at the beginning. So I've sort of just taken the approach of adding them in a bit later this time. I love Lisa Ramirez. Like, she just serves. Like, I'm sorry. Tessa as well. Like, so cute. Chico, not too shabby. Yeah, I've not played these guys for very long. I've literally pretty much just added them into my rotation, just for a bit of variety. They're in the Blue Water Village as well, along with like Dina and Malcolm. So I'll just start doing up Blue Water Village as well, sort of integrating that in. I was sort of toying with making like a whole downtown, like from scratch and things, but I'm not too sure. See how it goes. All of my houses at the moment are either like Maxis, and I've changed bits and bobs, or they're downloaded from that one house creator, or they're just made by me and very, very basic, just because I don't like to cheat money. I like to just do things organically. So I sort of just decorate it as it goes, rather than like putting them into an already fully furnished house catered to their personality. And especially because we don't really know like what the children's personalities are like yet and things like that, and they haven't got their own drama and stuff going on. I've just kept things fairly simple in some places, but I hope it was enjoyable to see Pleasantview this far along. I will keep playing it. Like, this whole thing's inspired me and sort of brought up old memories and stuff, so I'd like to continue. It's just, I think something's pink soupy. I think it's my university is pink soupy, but I have to find a way around that. But thank you very much for watching.